Today's episode, we're showing you how and why we went from a supercharged to a custom 3D printed cold air intake for this big block Chevy. Let's get into it. In today's video, we're going to show you how we went from a worn out air filter that's just stuck on the end of this throttle body to a fully custom 3D printed cold air intake. And if you're interested in a custom intake for your ride, make sure you stick around till the end of the video. If you caught our last video, you saw, unfortunately, this truck is no longer supercharged. We really wanted to keep it because it was fun, sounded great, and made awesome power. Unfortunately, reliability just wasn't there. I never knew if I was going to make it to where we're going, and that is just not going to cut it as a shop truck. From going to shows, visiting customers, and everything in between. It sucks when you got to stop on the side of the road and fix this thing for something stupid. So we took the opportunity to still make something cool, and we 3D printed this whole cold air intake, and we really like how it came out. We didn't want to just throw a cone filter on there and do a lazy solution, because yeah, it works, but it's ugly, and that's not what you know us for. So stay tuned and see what we did. Our first goal is just to create a nice package for this engine bay. We have the throttle body up here and a cold air duct up in the front corner of the engine bay. I'm pretty sure this came from the Whipple kit because I know a lot of the trucks have one up here in the fender, but ours is covered and we're just going to maintain this one because it's what we have and I think it looks better. Our next goal is to isolate the air filter from engine bay heat. Obviously, this cone filter is doing an awful job. We're right over the engine with the valve cover and the exhaust, and all you're going to do is suck in hot air. So that is not going to cut it. We don't want to just stick an air filter onto a tube because you could do that at Home Depot. We want to create a box that sits here, isolates the filter from all the engine bay heat, and makes everything look way nicer. Now that our goals are clearly outlined, it's time to 3D scan this thing. Now that we're done 3D scanning, we took that scan and put it into PeelCAD Pro. In here, we finalized to a very nice looking mesh where we have the data for the throttle body, as well as the cold air inlet that we mentioned before. And we have all the heater hoses, dipsticks, wiring, whatever you might think of, it's in this scan. And this will really help us make sure the prototype either fits perfect the first time or gets us really dang close. And it'll take very minor tweaks just to finalize the project. That's why we love 3D scanning. It helps us develop things way quicker and is just a staple in our workflow. Now that we're done with the Peel software, we took that 3D scan and imported it into SolidWorks so we could start creating this cold air intake. First, we went to the throttle body and created that flange, so now we have a perfect circle there. And then we went to the air intake side and made the same thing. Again, another perfect circle, so we have two solid bodies to work off of, and now figure out how do we make them meet. The first thing was air filter placement, because from there, everything else is created. Once we got that spot, we were able to start creating the air box and get everything else situated. The air box shape may be a little bit funky, but it was created to maximize form and function. The first thing was creating a straight shot right to the filter, making sure we're not getting the plastic cap or anything. We have all that fresh air going right into the filter material. Then we made sure the base of the air box was flat and parallel to the top for printability, because again, we are 3D printing this, so we wanted to make it as manufacturable as possible. And you might notice up here, the lid fasteners seem to have a little bit more material than normal, but that was very intentional. We did that, one, to limit supports, and two, to add rigidity. Now let me hide the filter so I could talk about the filter flanges on the airbox. Now you could see the airbox has a two-piece flange setup, one with countersunk fastener holes for the outside, and on the inside, we actually have threaded insert holes, so we could take heat set inserts, press them into the part, and assemble everything without additional fasteners. So no nuts or anything, we'll just have the bolts squeezing everything together. This is done for a couple reasons. One, ease of assembly and maintenance, and two, it really helps with printability because now we're not trying to print a round part in the wrong orientation, and we also limit how many supports we're using again. Since we're able to print those flat, we'll eliminate supports there and have a much easier, nicer 3D print. Now let me show you the additional brackets we added. This may be overkill, but we added some additional mounting points up top and on the bottom that just use pre-existing hardware just to ensure rigidity of the entire system and to make sure there's not too much load relying on the 3D print itself or the air intake, the inlet up front, or the intake tube. Just make sure nothing breaks and everything's well supported. The top cover is pretty simple. It's just a 2D shape of the airbox itself, and we're going to get that milled out of polycarbonate from Sencut Send. And one of the last components you've all been waiting for is the air intake tube itself. We just went off of the throttle body geometry and made it meet the airbox. But it wasn't as simple as just doing a straight tube. There is a bit of curvature here because we did angle the airbox to get better fitment. And this is where 3D printing really shines. We're able to do very minor tweaks just to really get that perfect fitment. And you can see here what I'm talking about with the different angles is we actually did angle the airbox downward just to match that hood line a little bit better. So we brought it down maybe like 10 to 15 degrees, and when it's in the car, it just looks so much better because when it was flat, the air intake, or the airbox rather, wanted to kind of peek through the hood, and it just didn't look very good in my opinion. So when you see it on the car, you really can't tell, but in CAD it does make a difference and gives it that OEM plus look where we were looking at those small details. And the last feature I want to talk about on the intake tube is this hole right here. This is for our intake air temperature sensor, and we just got a grommet, just the standard General Motors one, and modeled it into this tube so the factory sensor will pop right in and just be like an OEM part once again. But that's enough rambling about CAD. Let's get this thing 3D printed and see how it looks on the truck. So now that we're done with the actual 3D printing aspect of this project, here are the 3 generations of air intake we had for this truck. Up first is the awful cone filter that came with the truck that is well past its use and just not worth it anymore. Up next, we have the prototype PLA intake, which actually worked out really well. There were pretty much no changes made to the airbox itself other than shortening this flange a little bit just for fitment purposes. But other than that, this fit perfect the first time. All the changes were really made up in the air intake tube. One, we made it shorter, and I'll show you that, compared to the final air intake tube. This like half-inch difference or whatever it is was really just because once we had all the couplers on there, it was a little bit tight. It still fit fine, but adding in that little bit of fudge factor made the overall installation that much easier. The other thing that we changed was how the intake air temperature sensor installed. Initially I was using a threaded one, and we all know how plastic threads are. They're not the most repeatable, they're not that great. So I decided to nix that idea and just use the GM grommet because it'll be way easier and more appropriate for plastic anyway. Just so we address the elephant in the room, the print actually failed, but I was able to save it, which is why you see this awful glue and plastic welding job. And we would never do this in a production setting, but just for a PLA prototype for test fitting, we just made it work so we wouldn't have to waste more material. And now for the final production parts, we'll start with the intake tube. And this is what I was talking about. We used a rubber grommet that you see, it's just a GM part number with a factory replacement sensor for that grommet. And the shorter tube actually made it easier to print. We also used the back of it to hide that seam because that's just how 3D printing is. There's always going to be a seam there. So from the front, it looks beautiful. From the back, it still looks really good. There's just a little bit of a seam back there. Now for the airbox itself, it came out beautiful in my opinion. We have all the threaded inserts in there, the polycarbonate lid, the new K&N filter, and I am very stoked with how this thing came out. Let's address what material we used. We used a Fiberon PA612 carbon fiber, and that is just really similar to a lot of the OEM type materials. Like OEMs don't use carbon infused materials, but they use similar nylon bases. So that means the HDT, heat deflection temperature, is going to hold up to all the engine bay temperatures and survive for hopefully years to come. But we will be testing that out. But that's enough nerdy 3D printing stuff. Let's install it. Overall, it's a pretty simple installation. Just takes a couple minutes to get the whole thing together. We finally have everything installed and I think it came out awesome. But we want to hear from you guys. Is this something you'd like to see in your truck? We have this one that's kind of vehicle specific to this truck with how the Whipple front intake is. And we know the trucks have this fender vent that we have covered up. But with 3D printing, we could always change that and make a more production-oriented model. But we want to see how interested you are, so comment down below, hit up our Discord, and just have a conversation with us. Is this something you'd like to see? Maybe we'll make it a reality, but it's up to you guys. With all the projects we've showed you on this channel, I think this one really showcases how far the industry has come. A few years ago, this definitely would not have been possible, and that's mainly to the machines available and the materials available. Now that you can get these high quality nylons that have great material properties, we're able to go from concept to prototype to functional parts just like that. With our older style open air printers, something like this was just a pipe dream. But with our newer ones, it's a very real reality. So I'm just stoked with how far everything's come, and I can't wait to do more projects and show you guys along the way.